Soil texture. In speaking of clay soils, we have noticed structure. In that particular case, prismatic structure, as a natural property of soils. Plates, prisms and crumbs in soil are structural units. But there is another characteristic of all soils, which is of special interest to archaeologists. The property known to soil scientists as soil texture. It is a property which, if carefully described by excavators in their reports, would make these much more accurate, and would provide an item often valuable when comparing one report with another. Unfortunately, texture is little understood by archaeologists. The materials in excavations are frequently described as clay, for example, when they are nothing of the sort. The texture of any soil is described by the farmer when he speaks of it as being heavy or light. By heavy, he means difficult to work. A heavy soil needs more horsepower to plough it properly than a light soil. Incidentally, it is also true as a rule that light soils dry out more quickly after rain than heavy ones. Now, a heavy soil turns out to be richer in clay than a lighter one, and that gives us a clue at once to what is meant by texture. As has already been briefly indicated, soil scientists, pedologists, recognise three grades of mineral matter in the soil mantle. First, there is sand. This is gritty to the touch, and you can see the individual sand particles with the naked eye. Silt is the second grade, and its particles are finer than those of sand, and cannot be seen individually without magnification with a lens. However, silt particles impart no plastic or sticky property to the soil when it is handled moist. The particles do not stick together, and when we handle silt, or a soil rich in silt, we find no grittiness, which is found with sand, but instead a textile-like quality, which, for want of a better term, may be called smooth or silky. Clay, the third and last grade, is sticky when moist, but not wet. A soil in which there is such a good balance between sand, silt and clay, that it is not gritty or silky or sticky when moist, not wet, is a loam. A soil heavier than a loam will be either silky or sticky to handle when moist. The heaviest textured soils of all, technically silty clay loam, clay, will all take a polish in the hand when moist if pressed between fingers and thumb. Those not quite so heavy, but heavier than loam, are silty loam and silt loam. Such soils will be silky to the touch when moist, but cannot be polished between finger and thumb. Soils lighter than loams are all gritty to the touch. They are 1. Sandy loams, which in the moist condition will form a stable cohesive ball. 2. Loamy sands, which will not form a stable cohesive ball, but will soil the fingers. And 3. Sands, which when moist will neither form a stable ball, nor soil the fingers.